Hi, my name is Joana, and this is the second video about being a student while having a depression. In this video, I talk about the decisions I had to make and the strategies I adopt while I was studying. In the first video, I explained I decided to ask for professional psychological support. And I was aware, or became aware very quickly in the first appointment, that although I was being helped, the change that needed to happen, it was inside me and it needed to be done by me. And I changed. The world that surrounded me didn't change. My family expectations were still there, my sleep dysfunction was still there, my physical exhaustion was still there, as well as other problems that I had at the time. But what changed was how I saw myself and how I interacted with the world. I understood that if I wanted to feel at peace, I would have to make some difficult choices. The first thing that I had to understand was that my well-being was my responsibility as a young adult. My family's problems were their problems, and like me, they would need to solve their problems. It was their responsibility. And that was the first difficult decision that I had to make, that was focus on myself and not give priority to problems which were not mine. And believe me, it was hard, because even today I sometimes put others first. So it was a tough one. The second thing was that I needed to differentiate what were my expectations and what was my family expectations. I became aware of it when in one of the appointments my psychologist made the following question. She asked, Joana, do you want to finish your degree, or do you want to finish your degree in 5 years? And at that moment I understood that what I truly wanted was to put the astronauts on the moon. And it didn't matter if it took 5 years, 50. So I became financially independent. This way I had no time limit to finish my studies. And that was my second difficult decision, because it was very complicated to study, work and sleep between 10 to 16 hours a day, depending on the months of the year. But I ended up doing odd jobs here and there. The third thing I had to understand was that I don't have to, or I need to change who I truly am to please others. No, any one of us as a person is truly exceptional, and we just hide it, and we hide that from ourselves. We hide our exceptional part of us from ourselves. We don't come forward. And there will be always people that will reject us, always. And sometimes, unfortunately, these people may be even close to us. But there will always be people that accept us exactly like we are, with flaws and qualities. And it's with these people that I feel comfortable, people that accept me. I feel happy, I feel loved. So that was the third difficult decision. It was accept myself as I am, an eccentric person, even knowing that society could reject me and set me aside, and that included my family. The fourth thing I understood, and this one was very difficult, is that I had to step away from people that were not helping me. And believe me, some of those people, they were truly trying to help. They really tried. But they didn't know how, and they were not prepared. Having a depression is hard for us, but it's also very hard for friends and family. So I had to do it. I needed to get better, and I moved towards where the help was coming from. I also understood, since the beginning of my university life, that it was important that I kept myself motivated and having fun. I needed to counterbalance the pain and the sadness of the depression with something more positive. And since I'm a very active person, when I'm not in a depressive state, I got involved in extracurricular activities. For example, I helped organizing conference. I participated in the students' newspaper. I was a student representative, and quite a few more that I don't remember, but I can assure you there were more. I also had a social life. I went to parties and celebrations, concerts, dinners with friends. I went to cinema, and also stay at home and would read and do some handcraft, embroidery or knitting. It was very important to establish a study strategy. I didn't have the physical and emotional capability to go to all the classes and do all the exams. It was very hard for me to admit that. I realized that a long time ago, but I had to admit to myself that, and admitting that we have limitations is hard, it's very hard. So I made choices. At a certain point, I believe it was around my 7th year of enrollment, I established the following rule. Every year, I would go precisely to 2 exams. No more, no less. So at the beginning of the year, I would pick 2 disciplines that I will go for an exam. And I would stick to it without any exception. Even if sometimes I would think, maybe this year I can do 3 or 4. I'll say no. Your deal with yourself is 2 disciplines. And I knew that eventually I would run out of disciplines and I would finish my degree, so I did it. And after that decision, I went ahead with other dreams and plans, and my priorities was working, studying, and it was a very good decision. And I started working in my study field. That was really good. So no more odd jobs. Well, freelancer. There were also other strategies, and those are also important. Since I was not able to go to the morning classes, I needed to find an alternative way of studying. So if I was allowed, I would do the work assignments alone. This way I was not dependent on my colleagues' schedule, and actually I wouldn't feel guilty if I didn't help, because it always upset me when I was not able to work, that I didn't contribute for the work assignment, and I wanted to avoid that. And another thing that I did was that I would pick disciplines that I could be graded only by work assignments, or I could take my notes and books to the exam. And yeah, after 13 years, I reached my goal and I finished my degree. And even if I still didn't put the astronauts on the moon, who knows? In the last few years, part of my job includes clinical research. So it is possible to study and fulfill a dream, even if you are going through a depression or have regular depressive states. And in the next video, I will leave some advice